What have I been playing? What have I been watching? What have I been reading? Let's find out. Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this week's What Have I Been Playing, What Have I Been Watching, What Have I Been Reading. Let's get into it, shall we? Played... That's how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 4. And I got an interesting example as well coming up. I watched a couple of videos this week on physical versus digital. So I've got maybe a checkmate on where digital wins. Sorry, physical wins. Physical wins, okay? We'll get to it. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about Star Wars Battlefront. If you didn't know, they've re-released Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, the original 2, the good 2. Mind you, I had a lot of fun with the reboot of the franchise, or whatever you want to call it. In case you're wondering what that noise is, we've got Alex Kidd in the background. You can just about see it just there. Got the good old Master System. So I thought it's had quite mixed reviews, isn't it, Star Wars Battlefront? The Master Collection or Remaster, whatever they're calling it, looks better. It is great that you can play 64 players in one battle. That sounds really good. But it had terrible reviews. That was one of those games that would get me back onto online gaming. But I'm going to stay away. But I was in the mood to play some. So I played some Star Wars Battlefront. This one and the Battlefront 2 are the original games. This is the one I had. I bought it. Oh, it's still in the Xbox. I'm playing it through the Xbox 360. So I think it looks that little bit sharper. But it's still a great game. It really, really is. So I think it's selling for about £28 or £28.99 here in the UK. So I consider myself, I've saved £28.99. So I've had a ton of fun. It's aged really well. I just don't do the campaign. I just do instant action or instant battles. So you can select what maps you want to play as and just do it that way. So I select probably half of the maps, the ones are my favourites. My favourite map of all time is probably... There's two Bespin Cloud Cities. There's one... Not the one of the platforms, the other one where you're in the city. That one is my favourite. Both Tatooine maps are amazing. Both Naboo maps are amazing. There's so many good maps in it. But my advice is, if you want to get into these games, go and buy the originals. Because they're great. Obviously, the online is the issue. If you want to play online, then yes, get the modern ones. But if you just want to do the offline, there's still a lot of content in this game, okay? So yeah, I've played some of that. That was last Sunday. Gosh, it feels like a month since I played this. But I think we played this Monday and maybe Tuesday. I can't really remember. I know we did stream once this week. I think I've done 2 nights of playing this. That's what I'm trying to say. Tales of Arise. We're at now the first, second, third, fourth kind of world. It's very depressing. So we've gone from like the desert kind of... I say desert, but there's cliffs and stuff. Like the Grand Canyon kind of vibes world. Then we went to like the snow world. Then we went to what I would class as paradise. Like the farming, the valleys, because I'm from Wales. That's the paradise kind of world. Where, you know, everything looks perfect. And everyone's happy there as well, like in Wales. And so we've done that one. Now we've gone, it's a bit more depressing. It's more of a rundown kind of town, and things aren't what they seem. So yeah, I'm continuing my playthrough of that. I've been very distracted this week though, so I'll tell you, there's another game. I'm borrowing a game, so I'll get to that. So that's kind of just pulled me away from Tales of Arise, but it's still there. I'm not giving up on it. Still having a ton of fun. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Horizon. Yes, this is the original. I've got to have something in my hand when I'm talking about video games. So I've got the digital. I've committed to leveling up 2B, my favourite character in the whole game. Yes, she's a DLC character, so you've got to pay extra for her. Oh, boy, have I had my money's worth. I'm attempting to level her up to level 500. Now, it is a hell of a challenge. Probably the most challenging thing I've done in a fighting game. And she's currently, I was playing a little bit last night, 67, I think we got to, maybe 68. Okay, it is a grind. And every time you level up, you don't get something new every time you level up. See, sometimes it's every 5, so I don't get anything till I get to level 70. I know 75 is a new weapon, new sword skin that I'm really looking forward to having, like gold ones. But yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with this game. This is Contender. So again, I'm talking about Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. Contender game of the year so far. I know we're still early on, but it's one of those games I keep going back to. Yes, I've had it just over a month, but with that challenge of getting, sorry, I'm scratching my leg. With that challenge of getting me to level 500, it's going to be a challenge, but that's going to keep me interested. Even maybe I might start to lose interest. You know, level 500, you've got to do arcade mode over 500 times, basically. There might be some weeks where I don't play it at all, but as of now, dipping in and out. And if I'm undecided what game to play, it's a good game to go back to. Kind of like Resogun has got that kind of vibe. It's my in-between game. Or, because it's digital, like Resogun, if a game is installing, then I'll go and play that whilst the physical game is installing, you know. So, speaking of the game, now, Avatar Frontiers of Tomorrow. So, speaking earlier on about physical versus digital, I'm borrowing that, okay? Now, if I bought this on digital, or this is off my nephew, so shout out to my nephew. He's very kindly lent it to me. Everyone in my family's going away next Tuesday for, I think they're going to Lanzarote or somewhere for Easter. I'm staying home, looking after the dogs, being a top son. So, he had this game. I've had my eye on this since it came out, okay? And kind of just waiting for it to come down in price. I don't like to, this is the kind of game I don't like to spend full price on, okay? So I think it was £60 or maybe £70 when it came out. It's currently around about the £30 now. So it's kind of in my range of when I would pull the trigger to buy it. But then, so I messaged my brother saying, rather than me go buy it, because my brother's always selling stuff on Facebook, and sometimes he doesn't know what stuff is worth. Sometimes he overcharges, sometimes he drastically undercharges, okay? And so I just messaged him, look, if he's finished with it and he wants to sell it, maybe for the right price, I'll buy it. And he said, oh no, he still plays it now and again. He'll lend it to you though. I thought, oh, that's nice of you. So again, because they're going away, I got it for like just over a week. And not that he's going to be crying, have it back, where's my Avatar game? So I played it a little bit Friday, picked it up Friday, played it all day yesterday. And I've got to say, it's the most disappointing game of the year, or most disappointing game of the last 5 years, right? I'm a massive fan of the first movie. I quite enjoyed the second movie, but I love the world Pandora. And Liam, shout out Liam, he says it's a 10 out of 10. It's just not my cup of tea. It's kind of, I was hot and cold in it. When I first started playing it, I thought, this is great. Really like the way they were telling the story. It's not really going to spoil it, but your your Smurfs, let's call them. I think that's what they're called. The Smurfs are little, huge compared to us humans, but they're in like a classroom. And then something happens, and it's fast forward 16 years later, and you're in like cryo sleep kind of thing. So you have an age, and you come out, and everything's different. And it's really good. Best thing about this game that I experienced, I put about 5-6 hours into it, okay? I got to the part where I've got my bird, my pterodactyl, okay? The best thing they did, and some games can do it, some games can't, but this game nailed it. When you're in like this classroom environment, this base, very claustrophobic, and they make you go, you're escaping, and you're going through all these long corridors, and the Smurfs have never gone outside. They've read about it in the classrooms, and they're learning about it, but they're more learning about Earth and human history kind of thing. So when you come out into Pandora, it's like, you ain't in Kansas anymore, you're on Pandora. They've nailed that bit, okay? It's just, wow, you're just looking around, taking it all in. And I thought, yes, I'm in for a treat. The combat then is mixed. It's nice when you get a gun. Bows and arrows, they're okay, Love the bit when you get your pterodactyl. That is great. When, just like in the movie, you've got to go and bond all that weird stuff with your hair. They nail all that when you got to climb those rocks and stuff with the gravity's all fucked up. Great. There's so many great things. I love the fact then when you got to land on those like balloon things and blow them up. So you got a hacking thing. What a load of rubbish. But you got to hack the thing, and then the red thing comes up, and you got to blow up because it's red. Everything in video games, if it's red, it's explosive. In case you didn't know, it's the law. But why the hell have you got to eat? What the fuck? Spoilt the game for me completely, right? So I can tolerate most other things, okay? Like the map system is junk. But I can't forgive it. I've uninstalled it. I've wasted all day yesterday on this game. I give it a good go. But boy, am I glad I didn't buy it. Boy, am I glad I didn't buy it on digital. But it's like, you got a health bar, like in most first-person shooters, or most video games, you got a health bar, haven't you? But then you got to eat as well. And before people start saying, well, of course you got to eat, well, there isn't a meter for you got to have a shit. There isn't a meter for you got to have a piss. There isn't a meter for sleep. Do you know what I mean? Why eat? And that L1 to eat, when you haven't got food, then you got to go find food. And it's like, I spent about 30-40 minutes looking for the plants. They've got food. And it's like, it dawned on me, this is crap. That mechanic, if you could take that out, it might be a totally different experience. But I'm gutted. I really, really wanted to enjoy this game. But that for me broke it. I was like, I can't. What am I doing? I'm running around this beautiful jungle looking for a specific plant that I can eat. Do you know what I mean? To make that L1 thing stop flashing. Oh my God, so frustrating. So yeah, I'm really glad I give it a go. I didn't give up after the first hour. The first hour was really good, I gotta be honest. But I get, it's kind of had mixed reviews, and I'd give it a 4 out of 10. That's being jet. 3 out of 10. Do not waste your money. This is coming from an Avatar fan. You nearly did it. Was it Ubisoft? Oh, no wonder. Yeah, Ubisoft, you nearly done it. You did so much right, but that was game breaking for me. So, yeah, that was Avatar. That's what I played yesterday and Friday. And I just installed last night. While I was uninstalling one, I was installing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So I haven't played it at all, but all 3 I think are installed on the hard drive, good to go. I'm looking forward to playing that. I have definitely played 1 and 2. I might have actually played Mass Effect 3, but back then I didn't have the patience, maybe the same as now. I got more patience now than I had back in the day when it comes to story. So I can't really tell you what the story was about, because I normally get to halfway through a game, then I just want to get to the end of it, so I do skip all the dialogue. I have no idea what's going on. That's what I'm going to start playing this week. Okay. That's everything I think I've been playing. What have I been watching? I watched a couple of movies this week. I've watched 3 movies in 1 week. Now that's saying something. So start off with this. Godzilla 1985. I watched it all the way through. I talked about it last week. I kind of watched nearly all of it as a kid, but I was too young to watch it. I would have been 7 or 6 kind of watching it. I snuck down when my father was watching it. But then he caught me. But I've watched clips here and there. I've watched basically piecing it together, so I kind of know the story of it. I know, spoiler, I know he dies, he falls into a volcano, but what I wasn't expecting was that screech that he makes right at the end. It caught me off guard. It was like, oh my god, my boy Godzilla, he is my guy. Oh, and shout out as well, I finally put the tail on my Shin Godzilla. A lot easier than I thought it was to do, you know. So you have to like dip the tail in boiling water for the thing to go on. It was quite unusual. I thought that's not going to work, but yeah, as you can see, doesn't he look good though? I don't know if I'm going to put it comes with the laser breath thing, the fire breath. I don't know if I'm going to put that on, but yeah, he looks awesome now, doesn't he? Anyway, so I've watched Godzilla 1985. I done it and really, really did enjoy. For some reason, I thought there was more to it. It kind of, I think maybe more films now, there's like, how do you explain? They want you to think this is going to happen and throw in like a curveball. But I thought when he gets to the volcano, I thought he would have gone, you're not tricking me, because he looks at the volcano. But then he basically steps too close to the edge and falls in, and that's kind of the end. And it's like, okay, I thought there was more to it than that. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. He's still one of my favourite looking Godzillas of all time. What other movies have I watched? On Netflix, I actually really enjoyed this. I watched this in one sitting as well. I watched it last Sunday. Leave the World Behind. I know it's done quite well. It's a Netflix original, so it's one of their movies. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what it was about. I avoided all trailers, all reviews on YouTube, but I knew a lot of people are talking about it, and I finally got round to watching it. It's one of those ones you can't really talk about it without giving away any spoilers. But it's set in America, let's say, and it is one of those, if you've watched it, I thought there was something going on with the deer, like all the wild deer, and what was that all about? I don't know. They build it up and it's nothing. But my favourite scene in it, then, I'll say, this won't really give a spoiler, is the Tulsa scene. So they're driving along this road, this family, and they see like this traffic, and they're like, oh, what's going on here? There's all these cars. They know stuff's going on. It's like in the middle of the film, but they haven't quite pieced together exactly what's going on. And there's all these cars, and it looks like a traffic jam. So they get out of the car to ask drivers, do they know what's going on? And they're all the same car, which is unusual, all Telsas, and they're all brand new Telsas. And there isn't anyone in any of them. But what they notice, every car is driven around and smashed into the one in front, and as if like a massive pile-up almost. And they look in, and the woman, Julia Roberts, really good casting. It's Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Ethan Hawke. There's really good cast of actors in this movie, okay? But then, of course, Telsa's a self-driving. So then they turn around, they notice there's a car coming. It's another Telsa. So something's gone wrong, and it's confused the Telsas. So they've left the dealership and just started driving. And they're all driving in the same to the same nav point, I suppose. And they're just crashing in. And there's another car coming, and they're like, shit, we're right in the way, so they got to get out of the way. That was a really cool scene in that. On Amazon Prime, another great movie. I don't know how it reviewed, I don't care. Tony's review is, it's great, is Roadhouse. They've redone Roadhouse. Some people say, oh, you can't touch the classics. It's as good from what I can remember. Yeah, I watched Roadhouse, the original. Patrick Swayze, isn't it? Loads of times growing up. I know my uncle had it on VHS, so I used to watch it twice a month, probably, down my nan's. Probably too young to be watching it. But the most significant thing with Roadhouse, the remake, is it's got Conor McGregor. It's his acting debut. And I'm not a fan of the guy. I think he takes himself way too seriously. But in the movie, as the bad guy, I think he just kind of plays himself times 10, his personality, exaggerated kind of thing. Because he's not like that in real life. Nobody's like that in real life. But it's really funny. He is the star of the show. So he plays like the henchman. He's not in it. Feels like at least an hour goes by before he's even in it. But it's a good movie. And then you at the back of your mind you're thinking, oh, Conor McGregor's in this somewhere. And he is the highlight. He's definitely the highlight of the movie. He doesn't disappoint. He's really funny. You can't actually understand what he's saying, which I worried about, because I normally can't understand a word he says. But yeah, it's a great movie, and that's on Amazon Prime. YouTube, always watching YouTube. This week's channel of the week is a channel I've shouted out at least once. It's a great channel, and I predicted this channel would do well, and the channel's flying now, and rightly so, is Camp Xbox. Camp Xbox. And the video is, I was going to grab it off my shelf, I forgot. The power of editing. Sorry, yeah, I grabbed it off my shelf. So it's Camp Xbox, and the video is Sadeki Original Xbox Review. Okay, so he's talking about this classic game. I've played it, I think I played it twice when it originally came out, and I tried to play it about 4 or 5 years ago, and I got stuck on that big spidered robot thing. It takes ages to drain his health, but obviously I was a better gamer back in the day than I am now. That's what that proves. But if you haven't played this game, check it out, guys. Or go check out Camp Xbox's review. That's my advice. Go check out that review. And he does a very good job covering it. He does the history of the game, the development. I think he says it was originally a Dreamcast, scheduled to be a Dreamcast release. Like a lot of the Xbox games were originally Dreamcast, weren't they? But it took a while with the development. Then it was meant to be a PC release, or going to be a PC release. And then Microsoft bought the rights to it or something, and wanted it to be an Xbox exclusive. But what's unique about this game, okay, is there's 4 characters. I remember this, right? And 2 of them are like this guy here and that woman there. They're like your hack and slash. It's an action RPG game, okay? But then this girl here and the professor guy, she's like the magician kind of character. It goes into first person shooting mode. So when you come into a fighting scene, she's got like a wand and he's got a gun, and it's a first person shooter. I really do enjoy playing that game, okay? But definitely go check out his review, because it does make you want. He does such a good job of reviewing the game that it makes me, anyway, want to replay it. I don't know how you would feel if you didn't play it back in the day, if that nostalgia isn't there. But for me, he's definitely made me want to play it. Put it in my rotation of games, okay? But I need to get back into Knights of the Old Republic. I've started my playthrough, but I haven't gone back to it for a month or so. The other thing he says, and he's right, is the terrible voice acting in it. Now, I didn't notice with the main characters he's focusing on, Camp Xbox. I didn't mind it as much, but what I remember, and it was very distracting, was you go to like this seaside town, for example, and there's like these humanoid rabbits, for example. There's all sorts of races in this game, okay? And like you'll talk to the father, and he'll have a certain like a Scottish accent, let's say. It's like, whoa, that's funny. Then you'll talk to the son, and he'll have a thick Scouse Liverpool accent. It's like they clearly just got as many different people, like maybe in from the development team, to voice these characters, you know. It's very distracting, but it's funny. He had a similar take to what I had on the game, okay? So that's what I've been watching, okay? What have I been reading? Only one book this week I'm continuing my read through of Star Wars Death Star. I'm 21 chapters in now, so nearly 130 pages in. And it is my second time reading through this book. But it's great. Absolutely great. I did worry a little bit. I couldn't remember there being so many characters. I thought it was like 4 or 5 different main characters telling their stories. But no, there's loads of characters. But it's quite interesting now where there's one like mutant human. He's like fused with plants or something, but he's got really quick reactions, and he can move. Oh, he's not a Jedi. He hasn't got like Jedi powers, but he's super fast. Like when he runs, he can almost be a blur. But he wants to escape. He's a prisoner on this prison planet, and he knows that the future is grim. So he's in the prime of his fitness now. Nobody's a threat, but he knows he's going to slow down as he gets older, so you need to escape from this planet. So he's coming up with a plan to, I think, go on to the Death Star and hide, like be a stowaway on the Death Star and survive on the Death Star. And maybe, I think his plan maybe is to get off from the Death Star to another planet to be free kind of thing. So that's an interesting story. It's got Darth Vader, Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin is in it as well. There's one chapter I read last night where this other commander, who's like a career Imperial, what they call it, he's working for the Empire. He wants to work his way up in the Empire, basically. And he's heard of Darth Vader, but he actually walks down this corridor and he sees Darth Vader coming the other way. And he's like, well, technically, I'm superior. I'm outranked Darth Vader. So it's funny, he's walking down the corridor, so Darth Vader should move out of my way. And he's walking down, and Darth Vader's coming down. He's coming down so fast, his cape is blowing behind him, marching down, as if he doesn't see this Admiral guy. And the guy's like, right to the last minute, he moves out to Darth Vader's way, and he like, they skim past each other, and he moves, I guess, but Vader doesn't move at all, kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, that could have ended my life, kind of thing. So all these people are just scared of Vader, or Darth Vader. There's another good character where there's this manager of a bar on, I think it's Coruscant, and she's making a profit, and she's got like a loyal bouncer, and her bar burns down one day, and it's like, what's the chances that the droids, the fire service droids, were sent to there was a glitch, so they were sent to the wrong part of town. The expensive water cooler thing that she invested in to save the bar in case there was a fire malfunctions. Loads of things. It's like, what's the chances of this? She feels like she's the most unlucky person in the galaxy, and she didn't have insurance because she put all these other measures in place, and then she gets offered a job by this scout to go work on the Death Star. They don't say, we want you to work on a Death Star, because nobody knows. They're building this Death Star in secret, this top secret, you know. So she's offered 2 years to go work on the Death Star, but it's like she gets days off, but she's got to live on this Death Star. But she's like, well, I haven't got anything else going for me. And the bouncer guy literally goes, she asks him, would you consider coming? He goes, yeah, straight away. He doesn't even think about it. So they're an interesting duo as well. There's loads of interesting characters, okay? So, yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's quite nice that I can't really remember the details of it. It's been 15 plus years maybe since I read this book, or it feels like it anyway. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying my read through of that. There we go. I think that is everything. What I've been playing, what I've been watching, what I've been reading. I don't know my schedule for next week. I'm doing overtime next weekend, so today's my last day off. For 12 days. I'm working all next week. Saturday and Sunday, Easter Sunday, and then all the week after that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to commit to videos. I might be streaming. I don't know. And to top it off, I'm looking after my mum's dog. Tuesday, he can be hard work. Okay, we only got 2 of them, so I don't know. If you don't see me for 2 weeks, I'm okay. I'm just exhausted. Or YouTube is my one of my go-tos to relax and talk to you guys. So you might see me more often. Who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for watching this week's what I've been playing, what I've been watching, what I've been reading. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Have a great week and love you. Goodbye. Oh, yeah, baby! You're funny, one. Oh, you got all the moves today. Here you go,